Good morning, and welcome back to Rise and Shine College Football. I'm your host, Jason Watkins, and if you love college football, you're definitely in the right place. So before you forget, smash that red subscriber button, like our videos, and don't forget to ring the bell so you don't miss one moment of Hall of Fame college football. Ryman Lemon, first in the house. Welcome into the show, sir. Kerwin, my man. Good to see you guys in here. Hey, yep, hit that thumbs up. Don't forget to wipe your feet when you come in this house. Come on. Sooner Brandon. What's up, Sooner Brandon? Good to see you. It doesn't really help to put those on the screen because it's also flu season. Everybody take care of yourselves. Check in on your loved ones. Stand outside their window, huh? That's kind of weird. What's up, bro? Gridiron Insight. What's up, my guy? How you been? Hey, if you're not busy, you can jump on. If I can send you a link real quick. Let me turn this down. Glad to see everybody in the show. Keaton Galactodon, Sooner Cowboys. What's up, my man? How you doing? Everything going better over there? Hope so. You guys bracing for another one? Mars Jams, what's up? My guy. Boomer. It's still hate week. It is still hate week, everybody, and talk a little bit more about what it's going to take to win this game. Why I would tell you that I still want to say that, and it's not just because I'm an OU fan. I think that OU is going to win this game. I've been watching and looking at more and more of what we're talking about with this Texas football team, and I just don't see it. They've played basically nobody. The one team that they were supposedly pretty good, they're not. They one-dimensional, completely one-dimensional. They've lost games that, now they've lost a second game on the season to Washington, which another team that isn't that great. And, just kind of a weird deal. I struggle to understand how everybody thinks this is such a lock for Texas to win, but we'll talk more about it. Prairie View National in the house and Roll Tide. What's up there, Kerwin? Hopefully everyone had a better start to the day than you. You just finished a midterm? Well, if it's finished, that's a good start. That's a good start, man. Come on now. Good times. Sooner Cowboys, yeah, things starting to get back to normal. Power back on for most. Still got some power, but they're working on it. Oh, man. That's good to hear. You'll get a good grade there, Stephen G., I'm sure. Yeah, that Roll Tide, they're having some struggles there in Tuscaloosa over that loss to Vandy last week. So not so happy, everybody, all in that fan base. Service is about to get my service is about to get bad. So I'm in here in spirit and Big Boomer. Hey, thanks for coming in, Sooner Brandon. We appreciate it. You can just listen in if you have to. Why is your service going to get bad? Let's see. Bishop Frank. What's up, Bishop Frank? Good to see you. Good to see you, my guy. Took a look at Austin, Texas, felt all the hot air and smelt all the BS coming from that area and noped out north and east. Yeah, that's probably what it is so far anyway. Bishop Frank says, big salute, fam. Leave no doubt that we are one Oklahoma, never flinch. That's right. Hey, man, I think that things are headed in the right direction, obviously, with Michael Hawkins. Getting excited about that. I'd like to see what's on my mind today, Sooner Mike. On my mind is all the bullshit coming out of Austin. That's what Ryman was just talking about. I'll just say the same thing. It's crazy stuff. This idea that it's such a lock for Texas to blow Oklahoma out, all this bullshit. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. What's up there, Collins? My guy. Collins McDaniel. Another Georgia Sooner. Charles Crows Fly High. What's up? T Boomer. Hey, man. T Boomer, I'm glad you're back in here this morning. Old Legend was all upset he accidentally kicked you out of there, and he was feeling pretty bad about it. I talked to him last night after the show. Total accident. It happens. You can be trying to get rid of somebody, and the next comment comes up, and you end up getting rid of the wrong guy. Tuckfex as it is. Told him.
The brand has finally returned. Fuck your brand.
That's what I think about Texas. Yes. Let's see. Yeah, it's been fun, right? It's been fun. Always fun. Kim Hurst. What's up, my guy? Good to see you in here. Yeah, you guys tell me what you guys want to talk about. What do you think is going to be the key to the win, to getting this win for either team? You know, I think it's obviously look, it's very rare that you have blowouts, right? One of the stupid things that I saw on Twitter yesterday was, oh Kyle, the knucklehead that, you know, he just does it for engagement, which, you know, is not stupid, I guess. I get what he's doing. Yeah, let me toss you that. I'll shoot you that link right now here. Hold on real quick. Let me get that for you. Oops. Let me send that over there to you real quick there, Marcus. Well, maybe. Hey, we might have a cool guest here in about an hour too, man. Somebody that I think you Sooner fans will enjoy. I will not mess up the surprise because I'm hoping it's going to. Oh, I sent that to the wrong place, but I didn't. No, I didn't. Sweet. Yeah, I'm not going to mess up the surprise. I want to make sure he shows up first. Hey, JJ, giving us some love there. Says best morning show out there on Twitter. My guy. Appreciate that. Yeah, but so it looks like at about 10:30, maybe a little after that, we will have a guest, another former Sooner. I'll just put it to you that way. I think you guys will like it. I'm glad, man. I'm glad I didn't bother you there too much, T. I got that in there for you there, Marcus. Ready to come on in? Oh, let me see something real quick. So, what are you guys thinking is going to be the big thing? Hawkins rushes for over 100 yards, says Kim Hurst, and hopefully they figure out a middle screen. Hey, I like that idea. Little screen action. So, hey, the more screens, the better. And I really do commend you, Sooner. Welcome into the show. Good to see you. I think Hawk Dog will air it out, Brandon says. I like it. Look, I think it's time for, you know, obviously you need Michael Hawkins to be the guy. You know, you need him to be the guy. And again, we talked about this a lot. Yeah, I'd take 14.5 either way from now on to eternity. Yeah, listen, because you just expect that it's going to be probably a close game. And that was one of the stupid things I was saying, that Kyle made sure that he put up the 10 biggest point differentials in the game. But he didn't put who won them. You know, he wanted to make sure that you saw the 49-0 win in 22. And he listed the dates, or, you know, the years and the point differential, but he didn't list the winners, which was stupid because 9 of those 10 were Oklahoma, you know, including ones that were bigger than the 49-point game in 2022. So it was funny, man. Pretty funny. But that's what I'm saying. I would expect that you're probably going to get a closer game. And this is why I would tell you that, I don't know. We haven't seen Texas get tested like that to where they have to struggle with anybody. You know, you look at what Michigan is and what they were that day. I mean, look, I was just kind of writing some of that stuff down. It's kind of funny because everybody's, well, who did OU play? Well, they've played tougher teams for sure. Michigan on the season, you're talking about a team that didn't test their defense whatsoever. They actually had their best passing performance against the Longhorns. 22 of 33 for 204 yards against Texas. That's 69% of their passes. That was the only game that they had over 200 yards. So even though you had SEC Mike out there talking about how they have the number one pass efficiency defense in the country, and Oklahoma's is, I think they're 28th or something like that. Well, if you go up against somebody who can actually throw, then that's one thing. Michigan is 129th in passing yards per game. ULM 130th. Colorado State 110th. Mississippi State 58th. UTSA 44th at 255 yards. That's the highest of any of the passing teams that they've played. UTSA, of course, has, I think they're 2-3 with wins over like Kennesaw State and Houston Christian. That's the best teams that these guys have played. So needless to say, they're going to get a little different team when they play Oklahoma as far as defense is concerned. So, and offense. So look, I think that Hawkins has shown that he's not going to put the ball in jeopardy a whole bunch. Oklahoma has one of the top, they have the third in turnover margin at +8. Texas is tied for 46th in turnover margin. Turnovers gained, Oklahoma's tied for 4th. They've got 13 over the top of how many? They've got 13 turnovers. Texas is 26th. OU number 1, of course, in fumbles recovered. Third down defense. I mean, Texas is 8th, but again, they haven't played anybody that has a freaking pulse on offense. So they haven't been tested yet whatsoever. When you start looking at some of this other stuff, I mean, the opponents that Texas has played, their scoring offense, Mississippi State scoring offense is 81st in the country. Michigan 100th. Colorado State 110th. ULM 115th. UTSA 107 in the country. So Mississippi State at 27.4 points per game is the best scoring offense that they've played. Scoring defenses, they hadn't exactly gone up against the juggernauts there either. Michigan at 56, they're at giving up about 22.3 points per game. Colorado State giving up 30.6. That's 103rd in the country. Mississippi State and UTSA are tied at 109th, 31.6 points per game. ULM 19.8 points per game. Again, they're playing kind of nobody. They are 4-1, but I don't know. In any event, Oklahoma would be their 19th in scoring defense at 16 points per game. Now, Texas is one of the top teams in scoring defense because, again, they haven't played an offense yet. It's all smoke and mirrors at this point, and none of that shit matters. And that's what Steven from Fanatic Perspective was hanging his hat on the other night, was their 45 points a game. And the fact that their defense is one of the best in the country, he says. Well, I think we'll see. What's up there, Derek? Good to see you, my guy. Just Ed, good to see you too. Larry Boxley. Well, so we got Benji already got booted. I love it. Drew says, I'll shed a tear if Sawchuck goes for more than 75. It'd be good. Listen, they're going to have to run the football. That's one of the things that always wins this game, is the team that has the most rushing yards. I think that will definitely, but I'll tell you something. I think that Oklahoma may have to find a way to start off by hitting some deep balls and testing them down the field. You got to pull some of those guys out of the box. I hope to hell they're going to hit some of those edges, and I would love to see more of that screen game. Definitely love to see more of that screen game. Still waiting on our guy here. Where's old Marcus at? Appreciate you there, JJ. Appreciate you, man. I was trying to get him in here last night. We couldn't do it. If you got time, you could pop in too, but I know you're busy with they're not talented. They're crybabies. That old AP poll always gets exposed. Yeah, I agree. Derek, the seatbelt. Glad to see that that the seatbelt is back, man. I'm glad to see it because I think that if you're having any issues in the secondary right now, it seems like it's the corner position. Hey, we got Coach Marcus Dent coming into the show. What's up, my guy? How you doing, man?
Man, what's going on?
Good to see you. Good to see you.
Oh man, it's blessed to be here, brother. Blessed to be here.
You as excited about this thing as we are? First Red River?
Man, I've been hearing all week about the blowouts and all the different things, all the different scenarios that can happen. Shark versus Brent, Hey man, my thing about it is this right here. They haven't played anybody. And I don't know if their quarterback can hold up to the law firm coming in there sacking him 2 or 3 times. So, and what I seen out of Manning against Mississippi State, if he goes down, I don't think Manning can hold up. So I'm not saying it because I'm a Sooner fan or a Sooner dad. I'm saying it because I'm looking at what I've been seeing all year.
Yeah.
And right now, it's just not telling me that you're physical enough to play this game the way Oklahoma is going to play this football game.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. So, I think you're dead on. Of course, Marcus Dent here, Coach Marcus Dent. He is the father of Isaiah Autry Dent, offensive lineman for the Oklahoma Sooners, freshman, ready to play in his first Red River shootout. Man, it's you gonna be there in Dallas watching this?
Man, unfortunately, we're not gonna make the trip. Man, we had some stuff to come up. There's some family issues, but we're gonna be there in heart and soul and spirit, man. I'll be definitely watching it. Yeah, man, they're excited about everything that's going on with the program in general. That's what people don't understand. It's the program in general. If you look at every team in the SEC, you look and see what Oklahoma is doing with their young guys and how they're getting their young guys ready to play. I think we're going to be as much as a unit as anybody in this whole conference. You got Alabama is in disarray. The kid that played FBU for me in the 9th grade All-American game, Otis, look like he's leaving. There's some things going on in Alabama right now internally that people don't know about, and I think it's going to affect their football team down the road. It seems like Kirby is losing a little bit. It seems like the deal with hey, we're going to get all the best talent. That's kind of going away. Although Georgia made some kind of deal, their legislator made some kind of deal where the NCAA doesn't regulate them. That helped them some, but man, everything is changing. I think Oklahoma is doing this thing the right way. And I think that's the biggest thing that we have going on for us is how everything in this whole pyramid, how everything is stacking up for us to be at the top.
Yeah, listen, and we've talked a lot about that, with all this stuff that's going on with NIL, with the transfer portal, and with the way that, and I'm one of those guys, I've said this a bunch, you probably heard me say it, that don't look at me to be the guy that's going to give players a hard time for the way that they're doing things.
Right.
Because to me,
T-Boomer Super Chat, $1.99. Please, your abs will be tested. Boomer.
Yeah, I got to find a way to turn off that thing. Thanks for the super chat there, T-Boomer. Please, Uber's abs will. Yeah, he will. Yeah, they will. They will be tested for sure. I would guess that they're going to find a way to booger him up a little bit. No, I've been the guy that's been saying a lot though that the NCAA is the reason that things are the way they are. They threw NIL at a problem that they had that they could have been proactive about, and they weren't, and they never have been. And everything that's gone on since then has been the fault of I would say the NCAA for the way that they handled things.
You're absolutely correct about that.
What's that?
I say you're absolutely correct about that. Yeah. You know, that's a problem. And if I'm not mistaken, I think it might have been Mike Gundy or somebody was talking the other day about the Big Ten and the SEC is kind of advocating to only play each other in the bowl game. So if you do that, man, what did that do to the East Coast? What does it do?
I don't love it
to the West Coast?
Yeah. I don't love that kind of stuff either. And I mean, look, I don't think that I don't have a problem with people being a little upset with the way things are changed, because there's some changes that it's all about money. It's not about bettering the game, I don't think. And correct. So I think there's a line that you can't cross in all of this. But I would tell you again, I think that, and I do think that they're going to find a way to keep these. What's probably going to happen is you're just going to probably add a lot more of these teams. When this happens, how this happens, whatever, we'll see. But there's going to come a point that, you know, you start losing fans if you don't have all these kids involved and have all these programs involved. And you got to find a way to continue with that. But, and to be honest with you, we were talking about it last night on the show, is that NIL has honestly, and the people that talk about this, I think it has added parity in a place that in a sport that hasn't had parity. College football has never been about parity, ever.
No.
And I don't think that it's completely about it, but I think that there's more at the top. So,
definitely.
Because you can't just and stack them 5 deep anymore. You just can't do that.
That's right. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. And I was talking on my show the other day, and I had some people like, then they thought about it. Man, look at Vanderbilt. Look at Vanderbilt. It wasn't that, if it wasn't for the portal, Vanderbilt would not be a team that you actually have to game plan for.
Yeah, New Mexico.
The portal did that.
They put, that's where Diego Pavia comes from. He's a New Mexico State kid, and he beat Auburn last year.
That's correct.
So look, Tim Beck and Coach Kill, I'm sure you know who Coach Kill is. I mean, Jerry Kill's, he's been a really good coach for a long time. Right. Love that guy. Solid football coach. And look, I think that Tim Beck may be one of the better coordinators in the country. He does what he needs to do with the players that he has. And with Diego, he could throw a little bit, but he's also really good on the run. And he's just kind of that dog, just a kid that's a winner. He's going to go out there and make things happen. I love that game, man. It was a hell of a football game. I think that there's I'm not the guy that's going to tell you that I think that Alabama's in trouble, because I don't know how much trouble they're in when they're as good as they are offensively. But I would say that they got to get it together on the defensive side. And this is where when we start talking about Texas, I was just saying it. Look, they haven't played a team with a pulse yet, Marcus. They haven't.
No, they haven't.
Michigan is not the same team as it was when Jim Harbaugh was there. It's not. Any Oklahoma fan is, we're fans of Sherrone Moore because he's an Oklahoma guy. But the truth is, they did not leave that cupboard for him the way that, and his defensive coordinator, I don't know what that guy's doing. They don't get it done, but they didn't test Texas in any way, and that's the best team they played. The best. Their Texas opponent's scoring defense. They're all ranked in there's I think 2 that aren't in the hundreds.
Wow.
As far as scoring defense is concerned. Scoring offense, there's 1 that isn't in the hundreds as far as that goes. So they haven't been tested. They're going to get tested, and there's going to be, and not only that, it's going to be a physical game that they haven't seen yet. And I don't know what they're talking about, that this is a better team than they had a year ago. It isn't. It is
not in my eyes. It's not. You add
the guys to the draft to tell me you're better. Come on, man.
Nah. I'm with you on that. you add Isaiah Bonds, and I know his mom. We went down on a recruiting trip, and she kind of shadowed us a little bit while we were there. And I mean, he's a good kid, but I don't think he's the kid that's, man, we gotta make sure we cover him. I mean, I don't think we have to double cover that guy. I don't think we have to put nobody over the top. He's not nobody that we have to do something special. And he's a great football player.
I agree.
Don't get me wrong, but I think that the guys that we got out there, I think we can take care of business. I just don't think
see an AD Mitchell
hitting them out here.
Yeah, I don't see AD Mitchell. I don't see, and look, I know that Isaiah Bond has got speed, or the Bolden kid has speed. You know, they got some players, and in the end, and offensively, I wouldn't worry about Texas offensively, except for the fact that you're going up against a better defense than you faced last year, and you only put up 30 on them then. And you know, you're talking about your 45-point average, and you know, listen, I generally respect Steven and Nino, those guys, for the Texas guys, but that they did that with the Horns Down pod the other night in K. Chris and Seth. They had their little trash talk session, and that was fine. But Steven came out and said 52-17 Texas, and talking about that offense and how they have the best quarterback situation in the country. I mean, you're expecting that Quinn's going to come back, because that's all we're hearing. The Quinn's going to come back and he's not going to have any rust. He's going to be fine. Nothing's going to, you know, his abs are going to be all good to go. Man, those abdominal injuries kind of seem to be those things that stick around. It's a core injury. That's a little scary.
You think about those injuries a little bit more too, you know. So I don't know, man. We'll see. I don't know, man. Like I said, I just don't think that they have seen the type of defense that they're going to see Saturday. And you know, just knowing BV, he has something special that they haven't seen before. I know that.
He won the chess game last year too. I mean, that's the thing, is it. Look, it was a good football game. It was a good football game, but turnovers are going to be key. That's the one thing I love about Michael Hawkins, and I've been saying this a lot, is first off, we love the dynamic ability of him. We've seen what he can do, and you know, I think that they've kind of kept it. They've kept him a little held in. You know, they haven't tried to open it up too much. They're just trying to keep it, you know, simple and let him kind of do his thing. But this is a guy that can get in the end zone right away. You know, he destroyed that angle in that first touchdown that he had last week.
You know,
the angle that those safeties had. They had the tackle angle, and he just erased it. Right?
He did, man. I blocked for a guy who kind of reminds me. You know, he showed me some flashes of that. Matter of fact, it was the same number. It was Steve McNair. I remember the first day that he got on the field. You know, we was at Grambling. We was playing at Grambling, and man, you know, and we had a couple miscues, and they put him in, and the same type things, man. And you know, I played in HBCU football back in the late '80s, early '90s, when it was high talent level, and I came in when we saw him, we was like, man, he that dude, you know. So, you know, I mean, Mike was he was that guy. Man.
I remember seeing him, and I mean, they were talking about him in college before he ever went to the NFL. He was that dude. We all knew that,
right, man. And but what the similarities that I see in Mike that I saw in Steve is Steve never got rattled.
Yeah.
And I see the same thing kind of with Mike, with everything that goes on. He's calm, he's cool, he's collective. After the game, I saw the emotional thing with his dad. He was just shaking his head, and he was just there. He was like he was still focused. And that's what I see, you know, in a great player, because I blocked for him for 2 years. And I see some similarities, you know, especially with the mobility part of it. I see that also, but just the similarities of just being calm, cool, and collective made him who he was. on the football field. And I see some of those same similarities in Hawk.
No, I agree with you. It feels like and not to pile on to Jackson, I think that it just maybe overwhelmed him a little bit early on, and you start hearing those. I think you start looking over your shoulder a little bit when you got a talent behind you like that. I mean, the stuff kind of like just. I love the way that I'll say this about Jackson. I love the way he stayed engaged. He hasn't been showing any kind of bad teammate qualities. He's not talking about leaving the program right now. He knows that. Look, you never know what could happen, and they may need you, so be ready. And I think that's the best thing you can do as a player is to be ready for your chance. Because the truth is I mean, he's a 5-star. There's a reason he was a 5-star guy, player of the year.
He can swing it, man.
He can go.
He can swing it.
He just has got to get a little confidence back and figure it out. And I think that overall, I also think that maybe the offense was a little bit too much of that marriage between the Levy system.
Yeah, I said that early on. Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah,
I think so. I think that marriage of trying to combine the two offenses, man. I think it was a little bit too much with all the injuries and all the people out. I just think it was just a little bit too much. Now, if we had all those guys healthy, I think we would have been okay. I think he would have been okay. I'm just being honest.
I do too.
I think he's a great quarterback. I think he's still a guy who can lead a team. It was just that moment. Things just did not fit for him.
I agree. I don't think you're wrong at all. That's where, I mean, leading up to, hey, look, I was saying for the weeks leading up to that game against Tennessee that you got to give him time, let him get it together. They had a lot of injuries on the line. All those, and I mean, you still got all these receivers out, and he can run a little bit, but he's not the dynamic runner that Hawkins is. What we saw in the Tennessee game was that, look, he wasn't making the right choice on the RPO at all, ever.
Yeah,
I think when it came to that, the backwards pass, I mean, that was clear that it was time for him to get out of the game, and it was for his own good. Let him reset a little bit here. And the truth is, Michael Hawkins, I said this last year whenever he committed that, look, this is the kind of guy, watching him throughout the playoffs and what he did in Texas, because that Frisco Emerson team, look, man, it's a 4-year-old school. They had one, that was the first set of seniors that they were graduating. He carried them to the semifinals, They lost a thriller game against South Oak Cliff. The dude had 55 touchdowns and 3 turnovers on the season.
Man, that's crazy.
Insane.
That's crazy.
That's
crazy.
And
that's crazy.
Didn't have a clean pocket then either. So it was a little used to it. And it seemed like when the game plan simplified a little bit and you can trust that he's going to do whatever, it also looked like it helped the offensive line a little bit. Just me.
Yeah. I mean, I thought maybe they would, his athletic ability, I thought they might, early on give him a couple of packages.
Yeah.
To kind of just change up what we were doing, just kind of throw the defense off, kind of like what Florida did with Tebow, when they had Chris Leak. I thought they would do something like that to kind of change just try to change the dynamic of what we were doing on offense. And I don't think that when they brought Jackson, when they brought Hawk in, I think it was like, hey, look, you need to calm down. We're gonna bring him in for a while, run a couple series, and maybe get him back. I don't know what they were thinking, but it's just like anything else. Mike took his opportunity and he made the best of it. And you can't blame the young man for going out there giving his all, because that's what they brought you here for.
Absolutely. And I mean, his dad's an NFL veteran too. He played at Oklahoma. I think he was just completely underrated, but I said it last year. I said, look, Jackson's going to have his hands full with this kid. You got Kevin Sperry coming next year. I had somebody ask me yesterday if I thought that there would be a quarterback controversy next year, and I said no. I said
Yeah, I don't think so.
and as much as I like Kevin Sperry, he's got a great arm. I think he's going to be very good. I think you sit and wait your turn because this kid is dynamic in another way. And, you know, just like, you know, people keep comparing him to Kyler Murray. Of course, he works with Kevin, Kyler's dad. And
Yes.
he's, which, I mean, we know that Kevin knows what he's doing. I mean, Kyler never lost a football game in high school in Texas.
Wow.
So that's insane. And he was a 4-year starter. So, you know, to me, bottom line is you just got to look at it in terms of this kid is not just what they had to have right now, because I think when you have as many injuries as you have, and you've got guys that you're trying to get, look, with all these new receivers, these are the guys that he was working with, because before he was the starter, all the starters were working with Jackson.
Right.
So he was
my son said that, you know, he was like, you know, he's like, hey, look, he got a lot of chemistry with those guys. He's been throwing to them ever since the spring. So that kind of helps, you know, his awareness and knowing where they're going to be, knowing the kind of game speed, knowing the speed that they have. I mean, all that helps. You know, I'm a quarterback guy, you know, with my 7-on-7 team, and you got to have guys who have some kind of chemistry together. You know, it helps out a whole lot. And, you know, I'll call a play and he'll make a throw. I'm like, oh, okay, y'all got that. I'm cool with that. You know, so, you know, that's what it is.
Yeah, no doubt. And I mean, the proof is in the pudding. You know, I thought right away, one of the things, and the main thing that I think that obviously you've got that dynamic ability. He can get in the end zone anytime, but he seems to have unlocked a guy that everybody wanted to kind of see kind of step up, Jaquez Petaway. You want to talk about a guy that is a burner. And if you're not going to end up seeing, it doesn't look like Deion's going to be back this week. I don't know. Maybe he will. But it doesn't sound like it to me.
From what I listened, from what I heard, it sounded like he probably.
It'd be great if he was. It'd be great if he was, because he's a dynamic talent, you know. But it feels like to me, Bauer Sharp kind of stepped up, and they had a couple of those things called back last week, and not rightly, by the way, or 2 weeks ago. But I would tell you that Bauer looks like, and the tight end is the best friend of a quarterback if you can get open and hit that guy. To me, I feel like that's a ability right there that I think he's going to be one of the biggest X factors for this offense this week.
I do too. I do too. Getting him in the middle of the field, big body, catching the football, I think that's definitely going to be something that's going to be. I think they need that bad. You know, he's pretty sure-handed, and that helps out a lot. So, you know, like I said, on that little pick screen, whatever you want to do, I think without it, he still would have caught that ball and been running still now. You know, I mean, it was a perfect play call. So I'm seeing the play calling get better with Hawk, and not saying that it wasn't good with Jackson, but I just think that right now in Seth Cottrell, I think he's found something that he said, okay, you know what? I think this can work with him. Instead of, like you said earlier, trying to marry the two offenses together. Now we got 2 weeks of Hawk just, you know, going through different things, man. And I think Texas is going to see some stuff that they were like, okay, we hadn't seen this on film. We didn't know he could do this.
Yeah.
You know, and that's going to happen. There's no way that's not going to happen. There's no way that's not going to happen. So I think we'll be okay, man. I just think, you know, with the defense playing like they're playing right now, which is pretty good. Offense, you know, is healing up. The offensive line seem to be in really good spirits. And I think they're going to be fine, man. I just think, you know,
they're getting better.
The game.
I was saying that too, Marcus. I'm glad you brought that up. I think the offensive line is in better shape than people are acting like it is. Look, I think what a lot of it, and we've talked about this a lot of us creators that, you know, have been around OU as long as we have. When you're used to I think this is what it is. They're so used to being that on offense and not on defense that you have to win the race to 50. We've talked about that a bunch. You got to win that race to 50. And that's the only way you're going to win, particularly when Lincoln was here. That was how you were going to win. You got to get to 50. You got to get to 50. You got to get to 50. Well, you don't have to get to 50 anymore. You might have to get to 30 with this defense, because defensive, and this is another thing that's great for a new quarterback, a young quarterback, that you don't have to go out there and press. You know, one of the things that I felt really good right away when Michael came in was that first series, he stepped out of bounds instead of trying to do anything crazy. Right? Step out of bounds. And I heard somebody behind me go, "Oh, yeah, that's a lot better." And I was like, that's better. We didn't just put the ball in jeopardy. We can get to halftime and regroup and see what the hell happens in the second half. And he took his time with it. You know, he made some plays. And so, and it just doesn't look, the game moves fast. We know it moves fast, but it doesn't seem like it's moving too fast for him. The ball comes out quick. He's decisive. You've seen him miss a couple of guys that are open. You know, you saw that at the Auburn game. But I'll tell you, you haven't seen him even throw a ball that you're like, oh, that's a bad throw. That, you know, that could be going the other way. You know what I mean? He's just not doing it. He makes the right choice. And you don't ever want a guy to be too careful. But it just doesn't. It seems like he sees what needs to happen, you know?
It's kind of like
for a freshman, it's a lot. It's crazy that he's that, you know, sound.
It is
everywhere.
It is. He's wise beyond his years, you know, if you want to put it like that.
Yeah.
He's wise beyond his years. I mean, just watching him play, he doesn't seem like a freshman. And, you know, it goes back to, he's had a lot of training. You know, it goes back to his dad. I mean, he's ready for this moment. You know, he's ready for this moment. You know, he's not the average freshman quarterback.
Yeah,
that's about as simple as I can put it. Because he's had enough training, and he's had enough people around him to get him ready for this moment.
No doubt.
And I think he's going to shine in his moment.
Well, he's just, he's a leader. You can tell that for sure.
Oh, yeah,
he's a leader through and through. Hey, guys, y'all quit talking so much about about betting in there. Y'all gonna get my channel shut down. This ain't no damn casino show. Crazy. Do me a favor.
They trying to get you shut down.
Yeah, they're trying to get me shut down. Come on now. I'm cool with betting, but dang. Yeah, but it just, I tell you, it's just one of those deals. I feel like I love it. But again, I was getting into the defensive stuff. Look at the way these guys have played. And they probably had some moments, you know, that you kind of wanted to see. What's up, Cole? Good to see you, my man. They had some moments that you were probably like, man, they were giving up some yards here and there. I think Makari Vickers being healthy again is a good thing, because that road, he could be a part of that. Man, Makari's a dog, straight up. Love this. So loving seeing that, having him back out. And I'm glad, man. I'm happy to see. I love me some Makari Vickers. Old seatbelts the man. And then he's got a younger brother coming up that's going to be a baller too. So excited about Makari. Because he was looking really good towards the end of the season last year, got some time, and it's good to see him back in there. But I do think, defensively speaking, this is a team that's getting better, and they are elite. They're elite in a lot of ways. They're so good up front that I don't care how good this Texas offensive line is. They weren't great against the D-line last year, and it was nothing like it is now.
Right.
Not from top to bottom. I mean, from Jaden Jackson, you've seen Stoney getting better from week to week.
He's getting better. I'm watching him. He's getting better.
And Jaden came in and starting. You know, it's tough. You talk about a defensive tackle starting as a freshman. That's at Oklahoma. That's crazy. You know.
Oh yeah.
But even, you know, you got DJ Terry still looks really good, and then, you know, hey man, Grayson Halton, love him, love the way he's been playing. But hey, Caden Woolard is starting to come on, and we're starting to see the edge dudes. Hey, the law firm is getting it. The law firm is getting it.
Hey, man, look. Hey, Isaiah talks about the law firm, man. He's like, that dude is quick. You know, he said, man, his get off is crazy. You know, and I told him, so look, you got to go against him every day, and you can block him, and you can tone him down. You're going to be just fine. You know, he said, you know, he was talking about the edges. You know, like I feel like we got the best edge group in America. But just when it comes to a collective group,
I think,
man, we can get after the football.
Well, and you're starting to see PJ kind of get it now. And PJ Adebawari, I mean, you talk about an animal. And I mean, the dude just, man, well, his brother ran like a 4.4 in the, I mean, coming out of Northwestern, nobody even knew who he was. Defensive end, 300-pounder running a 4.4. That's insane. You know?
That's crazy.
Insane. And PJ just, I think that he just looks like he's getting it more and more all the time. But then you've got, I mean, like, you know, I was talking to Jason Woolard, Caden's dad. He's starting to get it. He was getting really close the last game where he almost got him a couple of sacks too. But
yeah, he was close. He was close.
Yeah, man. And it's just, you start seeing they're coming at them in ways. And then nobody is playing better football right now than our boy number 10. Than our boy number 10. Hey, Kip is the guy. Dude.
Kip. Yeah, Kip's the guy, man. Kip, he's a fun guy to watch play football, man. He's physical, he's smart, he's fast. I mean, he's putting himself in a position to get drafted pretty high.
Oh yeah. And I mean, obviously Danny is the heart and soul of that football team on that defensive side, but man, this guy is pushing for his time too, man.
Batman and Robin.
Man,
that's for sure.
Kobe's been looking good. You're starting to see a lot out of guys like, I mean, even look, I hated it when obviously you had Kendall Dolby go down, but Sammy O is doing his thing too in taking into that spot. You've got, and these kids that are the freshman safeties are insane, man. Boganowski, Powers, you know, I mean,
man, they will light you up, man. They will light you up.
They will light you up. And it's tough for them to get a whole lot of time. And we have Big Mike on a lot with us. And, you know, and they get it. They get it, though. They realize that, I mean, we're talking about Billy Bowman may be the best safety in the country, but RSJ is right there too. RSJ is playing his ass off. And then you got Peyton Bowen that just makes plays.
Right. What about McCullough? He comes back this week, right?
Uh-huh. Wait.
So you get him back. You get him back. So come on now. I mean,
is not excited about seeing Deshaun McCullough again. I promise.
So that's going to help. That's going to help us out on the defense. That's going to be able. That's going to allow us to do some things different because he's so versatile. You can play him at different spots, and I don't know where they're going to play him.
We're talking about him at will a little bit, the will linebacker, but more. I think he's going to play like a true DN probably, or like outside linebacker.
Okay,
you know what I mean? That the way that they kind of hybrid him out a little bit, but I think what you've seen, and I think this is where I was going with it more than anything. It's kind of a positionless back, the back seven. You know, after you get off of that line, it almost feels like they're a little positionless, a little bit, Mark. You know, because I mean, Peyton can run with anybody. You know what I mean? He can run with anybody. He could play corner if he needed to. You could definitely see him probably playing a little bit of the cheetah. We're starting to see his little brother already. Eli is making noise.
Eli's
doing this week too. Yeah, he's a dog. You know, and he's a little small, but he's gonna be in your hip pocket all day. You know,
it's crazy. I thought about this the other day. I was just sitting there looking, and the brothers that OU has been able to put together on this team. Now you got two cousins on the team, and you probably didn't know this. You got Isaiah, and you got Terry. They're cousins.
DJ Terry?
Yeah, they're cousins.
Okay.
On his mom's side. So, it's crazy. This is a family affair, look like at OU, man, doing some things. So, man, it's
Malik
exciting.
will be there next year. He's the new safety coming in too, Malik Hawkins.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So it's a family affair, man. Definitely.
It's look, man, I'm excited, and I've been excited. I think that the way that they've recruited. Talk to me a little bit about that, because we were talking about the NIL stuff, and I know that's look, you're going to pay these kids. You got to pay them, period. But I would tell you that, to me, I'm more about, they're intentional with what they're doing, and you recruit your problems, and it's not that Oklahoma's not going to pay. They know they have to. They're going to be in there, just like the Dominic Williams thing. They got in there and they paid what they had to pay. You're going up against Texas and Missouri and LSU acting like they don't want a kid out of here. They're paying women's basketball players. I know damn well that they buy their players.
Oh, too. Definitely.
Yeah, so let's not get it twisted. That, Brian Kelly is talking silly stuff. But I would just say that, to me, that it's the relationship building is so important. How important was that for you guys whenever you're looking at where you wanted to send Isaiah?
Man, it was crazy, because it came down to Ole Miss and Florida State, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
OU wasn't in the picture at the time.
Okay.
And Coach, we had sent his film out to everybody, and, he had the Bama offer and LSU and Missouri and all that, Oregon. And, it was kind of like he wanted to kind of stay close to home, but not real close, but close enough. Right. So we take the trip to OU, and it was the coaching staff walking down the hall, bumping fists, talking to each other. It was that got me more than anything, because as a coach, I'm knowing, hey, everybody's on the same page. We go to other schools, and the coaches just nod their head. I mean, it wasn't really if you wasn't their recruit, they wasn't really super excited about you.
Right.
We seen Coach Bates, man. He was like, hey, glad to have you guys down, man. He was just, just
I
real,
Coach Bates, man.
Yeah, man. Coach Bates, that guy, man. And so we saw that, and then when we got a chance to, talk to some of the other parents that were already here and the programs that they had, that's when we say, okay, we need to really look at this hard, because I think there's somewhere, he might want to, be. And we asked him, he's like, oh, I love it, and that started the process of us saying, okay, this might be the place. It was never for us. It was never about the NIL. For us, it was always about what the process that they could put him through to be a successful student athlete and an adult. Now, once we committed and we got everything, hey, look, this is what we're going to be.
Yeah.
Then the talks came, and everything was fine. Oh, you took care of what they needed to take care of.
Sure.
So it wasn't. And you see a lot of kids, and it was some that on the visit with us, and they're not at OU right now. NIL was up front.
Yeah.
And I just think that, I think that, OU is not that type of place that you're going to bring that to them first. We want to know what kind of person you are. They want to get to know the right people. They want the right people in that locker room. And I think, after talking to Coach B,
culture centric, right? It's all
about. That's what I was. Yeah, you got me. That's what I was trying to say. Yeah, exactly. Once we saw that, man, that was a wrap for him.
Yeah.
And at the time we didn't tell his cousin Marcus Dupree. We didn't tell him he didn't even know at the time that
Marcus Dupree's your cousin too.
Oh, Marcus Dupree and my wife are first cousins.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, they first cousin. His dad and her mom are sisters and brothers. So
what did
we didn't tell him we told him we was getting ready to go down there. So, because he would have been like, hey, let me call this person. Hey, this, that, and other. He's Oklahoma.
Yeah.
And I told him, I said, look, man, this is probably where he's gonna go. And he was super excited about it, So yeah, man, he has a he has a little OU blood out there,
There we go.
But
like it.
It wasn't about that. It was about the people, how they treated us, and his welfare after football is what got us to say, okay, we want to come to Oklahoma. And that's kind of what.
How important was Bill Bedenbaugh to the process to you?
Man, Bill Bedenbaugh was very important to the process. I don't want to give you a long backstory, but Coach Levy recruited him at Ole Miss. And Coach Phil was at Ole Miss also. So that was kind of like a focal point, first going in. And then, because I'm gonna be honest with you, I didn't know a whole lot about Coach Bedenbaugh. And then when I started doing my research about him and the players that he had put in, and my wife loves him because, she says that he reminds her of Pat Summitt. She played for Pat. So he's old school. He's one way. I mean, she loved that about him. He was upfront about everything. And he was just an old school football coach. And that's what my wife fell in love with. No nonsense guy. A lot of people can't play for Coach Bedenbaugh. I'm just going to be honest with you.
I agree with you. Yeah, no, that's absolutely true. Listen, he's not. You hear Gabe Eichert talk about it all the time. He's going to play the best player. You have to earn the job. He's not giving it to you because of who you are or how many stars you got. You got to win it.
You got to win it.
And if you got to put in the work. If you ain't getting the work done, you're not going to get the job. And Big Bill gets a lot of grief from a lot of Oklahoma fans over the recruiting stuff. And I think a lot of it it's weird shit, man. It's
crazy.
I'm like, you guys are out of your damn mind. This dude got $250 million worth of dudes in the NFL. Relax. He'll get it. You know what I mean?
I had a parent tell me on a recruiting trip, and I'm not going to reveal the parent, but he was a recruit. He was a big time guy. And she played basketball. I think she played college basketball. And she pretty much told us, like, I don't think my son could play for him. And I was like, why? And she was like, well, in other words, she was pretty much saying he's been kind of babied his whole life.
Yeah. Wow.
And I don't know if
that's not gonna get into
how he would take, being here.
Yeah.
And that was the honest to God truth. That was a kid we thought we was gonna get, and then we're like, why did we didn't get that kid? But his parents knew what he was getting into if he came to Oklahoma, and whether he could take it or not. Guess what? We had coaches tell us, Isaiah likes to hunt fish. He's a country boy. And
that's what Big Bill likes to do too.
Oh yeah, exactly. And it was like, I don't know, he's a rough guy. This right here, man. Look, Isaiah done heard every horror story from his mom about Pat Summitt. Trust me. So
she's been through it. Yeah, Pat didn't. She didn't. Make
man. Pat put you through it, but you won, and you respected that. At the end of the day, there was nobody she would rather play for.
Oh yeah, she's a good.
Oh yeah, no doubt. So we had a couple. Lady Vols came down to the game when played Tennessee. My wife's best friend came down. Abby Conklin that played with her. won 2 national titles. So she came down, had the OU shirt on and everything. So, you know, it's nothing but love, man.
I
But
love it.
yeah, I mean, Coach Bimbo, it once we dug into him, man, and found out what type of coach he is, kind of similar to myself. I'm a pretty much no nonsense guy. I mean, I love to have fun, but I'm no nonsense when you're on the field, and that's how he is. And man, we love that about him.
Yeah. I mean, well, and like I said, the proof is in the pudding. And I think a lot of the things that happened over the last few years when Lincoln was here, and I mean, we don't have to go crazy on this Lincoln talk stuff, but look, the fact is that Smitty wasn't there anymore, and offensive linemen need to be strong, and they were not as strong or as big. Look at Michael Tarquin. The people from USC hate on that dude. He lost a bunch of weight when he got there because of their strength and conditioning program. And he suffered for it. And I don't know what the coaching situation, they've been bitching about it. So obviously they got an issue there. Yeah. But he's been the most consistent offensive lineman so far this season. He gets the job done. And the guy was a freshman All-American when he was at Florida, so we know he could do it.
Right.
I think that having Schmitty back in the fold and the way that they're trying to do things, we got a lot of injuries this time around. It sucks. But it sucks to have that thing happen. But I'll tell you what, these guys that are getting opportunities and they're going to make the best of those opportunities, I think that for all the trouble that the Joshua Bates situation made, the dude's a dog. I wanted to kind of see more people taking up for Jackson the way that he did. You know?
Yeah, I mean,
you can't take your helmet off and be a dumbass and do that. But
right.
But they also made him own up to that. You know what I mean? And he did the right things too. But that guy's a player.
He's a player.
I love you.
And the thing about the Smitty stuff, man, like I say, just really, I'm new to the Oklahoma fan base, and man, I've seen so much crazy stuff. But like Isaiah missed 3 weeks with his foot. Somebody stepped on his foot and he had a hairline fracture. That has nothing to do with Smitty.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Shit like that makes you crazy.
That's crazy. That has nothing to do with him. He came in at 280, 289 when we dropped him off in January. He got up to 318. He's down to like 312 right now.
Nice. Okay.
But what I'm saying is, you look at the amount of muscle in the short period of time that he put on thanks to Smitty. I mean, it's like every time we don't see him every day. So when we see him, when his mom see him, she just touching on him and he hugging on him, man. You know, Smitty's done a hell of a job, bro. You know, y'all can say what y'all want to say as a coach, as somebody who been in football for a long time, man, y'all can get out of here with that nonsense.
Crazy.
Because, the thing about it is these kids got to be physical to play this game.
The beauty of this audience is they've been really good about it. Most of them are all pro BB. There's a few that the questions get there and stuff.
Right.
And I get it. I mean, look, this is for better or worse, this is a fan base that expects a lot. And Venables will tell you it's for better, that they hold you accountable. And I think that you could go a little far sometimes, and I think that they do. But I also think that the standard is the standard, and they expect it. Now, and part of it is there hadn't been an Addy in so long. You know, it's been a long time. For Oklahoma standards, it's a long time. But they've been close so many times too. So, that they should have won the year, when they went to the Rose Bowl with Bakers last year. They definitely should have won that. That was Lincoln taking his foot off the gas. And I was in the stadium and you felt the electricity leave. You know what I mean? It was just but aside from that, it's just, you got to have a defense though. And going into the SEC, it's not supposed to be easy.
No,
but I feel like what's happened in this early part of the season, I know people are they're sleeping on OU still.
Definitely.
But everything is still in front of them. Everything is still in front. Every goal they have is still in front of them, and they're sleeping on them. But you got to go through. I've been saying this. You got to go through some shit sometimes in order to get to where you need to be. You got to go through some shit.
I've been telling people that forever, man. That's something that people just don't understand. And like you said, Alabama has a loss. Tennessee has a loss.
Yeah.
Georgia has a loss.
Ole Miss
has a loss.
Yep.
So, well, I mean, everything is in front of us. Everything that we could imagine for the beginning of the season, beginning of the spring, before the injuries, is still in front of us right now.
Yeah.
And that's what people have to realize. You know, the gloom and doom, man, I just don't do the gloom and doom. I'm sorry. You know, the injuries is what it is. Got the next man up. Let's play ball. Let's get it. And I think that's where we are right now. You know, I really get tired of hearing about, okay, we got an injury here, we got an injury there. Man, that's gone. That's old news. Let's talk about what we got going on right now.
For every straw, you know, we want to fire all these coaches and do all this shit. No, hey, relax, folks. We got one loss through 5 games, and we're still in the thick of this thing. Now, do you have a tough schedule coming through? Oh yeah, you're gonna earn it. You're gonna earn it. And here's the other breaking news, folks. You're gonna have to earn it every year.
Yes.
It's gonna be like that every damn year. So good luck. Here we go. You know, let's get after it. And listen, this is what we were wanting. I think OU fans, I know, and I love our audience, because a bunch of them have said this. You know what? Let Texas have that soft ass schedule. Go ahead. Because
it's soft. It's definitely soft.
We didn't come in to play Vandy, and not to say anything bad. I mean, I love Vandy right now, but that's not the we didn't come in for those games. We're here to play Alabama and LSU in Baton Rouge, and go to the Grove and play Ole Miss. These are tough games. Missouri.
Hey man, let me know if you come in the Ole Miss game, man. Let me know.
I may be now at this point. I'm looking to it. I mean, excited about. That's one of the places that you hear that you got to go. You got to go.
Dude,
check.
I'm gonna tell you, and not to give them any accolades, but bro, when it comes to tailgating,
yeah,
you got to go to. Man, you just got to go. You got to go. It's different, man. It's different than anything you ever seen. I've seen tents with chandeliers in them, 65-inch screens. It's crazy.
Right.
It's crazy. So you get a chance to make that trip, definitely let me know.
I will, man. I will. And I don't know for sure if I'm going to make it to that one. We're trying to get to LSU for sure. I wasn't sure I was going to make it to Red River, but it looks like I am. I may have to go and come right back, but I don't care. It's worth it. It's worth doing it. So excited about that game. I really do believe that this thing's going to come together, and I think they're going to win the game. I mean, this is Oklahoma owns this game. Now, I don't care what anybody says. You can say what you want. OU owns this damn series. Since they integrated football at Texas, OU owns your ass. Period. So it is what it is. I put it on the show the other day. It is what it is. And I love that about it. And that's when Danny said that before the game, he said the two things he knew was that, Texas fears Oklahoma. Oklahoma only fears God, and Texas fears Oklahoma. And he wasn't wrong.
Yeah.
He wasn't wrong.
He was right about that one, just from listening to the fan base and everybody, it's kind of like
right now. It's like they're trying to convince themselves that it's going to happen, right?
That's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. I mean, I think Oklahoma's in a good spot. I really do. I don't think we could be in any better spot than what we are right now, going into this football game. From all the things that have happened, quarterback that's going to give you some fits. We know that because of his leg and his arm. He can throw and run at the same time. That's going to give anybody in the country fits. Nick Saban hated going up against guys that could do that. He had some kind of deal at one time. He wanted some kind of timeout rule or some kind of deal. I can't remember exactly what it was. It was to slow down these fast-paced quarterbacks. What Johnny Manziel came over there and did to him that year. So, but yeah, man, I think they're in a great spot. I think their spirits are really up. Like I say, I do know that the offensive line is healthier.
Yeah.
They feel real good about what they're doing, and they're not listening to the crap on the outside. I'm telling you right now, they're not listening to it. They're focused on winning this football game.
Yeah.
And that's why they have to. Now, that's why you go and say, hey, Coach Bimbo is doing his job, because, I mean, all the stuff that these guys hear, he keeps them grounded.
Mm-hmm.
He keeps them in a, I'm not going to say in a box, but he keeps them in a tight niche where, hey, they got each other's back.
That's awesome.
And you got to have a head guy for that group to be that tight. Mm-hmm. That group can't be that tight without a good offensive line coach.
Man, that's right.
You know?
No, man. I mean, hey, man, I'm a fan of Big Bill. I think that Legend was on his show the other night. Legend was talking to Ty from the Around the Table Sports, which we love Ty around here, and he was talking about, he's a Bama guy, and he was like, tell these folks in here how quick he would get a job in the SEC at a place like that. I mean, can you imagine? Because, well, Nick Saban tried to hire him twice, you know, before Kyle and after Kyle Flood.
Right.
You know? So.
You did. I remember that. I remember hearing about that.
Yeah. I mean, the GOAT's the GOAT. He knows what he's doing. And so, to me, you should be glad that, and it's a good, I love it that we've got a guy like that now he is getting these 5-star guys. They're starting to pay attention to what's going on. We got another Sooner dad coming in. Welcome into the show, Big Mike Boganowski. Welcome in, my guy.
What's up, Mike?
What's up, man? How y'all doing? Listen to y'all at the gym. I had to come home and get on with y'all.
Yeah, man. That's why I'm headed when I leave here, man. Headed to the gym, bro.
Yeah. I need to get my ass down there too. I do need to. I don't know if I'm gonna make it today. But how's it going, man? We've been talking about this game, man. You getting excited?
Yeah, man. I'm gonna tell you how excited I got. So I originally planned my son had a game at 8:30 in the morning on Saturday. And usually get done about 10. There's a flight leaving out of Manhattan, Kansas. They got straight flights from Manhattan to Dallas. I was going to take that 11:30 flight, get in at about, hour and a half before game time and try to hustle over to the stadium and not miss anything. Well, the closer we got to game time, I couldn't risk it, man. I told my son, I'm like, hey, grandma's coming down. She's taking me to the game on Saturday morning. I'm leaving for Dallas on Saturday morning. I apologize. Next year you'll get to go, and then how many ever years, maybe the next 3 you'll get to go. But I had to apologize to him, change the flights, all that stuff, man. I'm getting there early Saturday morning. I couldn't do it.
Yeah,
couldn't risk it.
No, couldn't risk it, man. I thought I could. I thought I could handle it, but I couldn't. I was fooling myself.
You really were going to be coming in hot, weren't you?
Oh yeah, I told you I was coming in hot. Nope, couldn't do it, bro. Couldn't do it.
Love it, man. That's awesome stuff. So, real quick, Marcus, we just had somebody in there say, "Well, could you get Marcus Dupree on the show?" That would be cool. We would absolutely love that.
I talked to him about it. Definitely.
Hey, man, you tell him he's welcome on this show anytime. We love talking ball with anybody, man. And I've enjoyed your show. Tell us more about what made you get this show that you're doing, because I wanted to talk a little bit about that. I know you've got your 7-on-7 team. You've been a coach yourself and helping these guys get recruited, which I think is such a big. It's important, man. I think there's a lot of guys that fall through the cracks, and I love hearing that stuff.
Well, man, we just really want to educate the parents about the landscape and how things are changing. you guys might not know, but Mississippi is a big junior college ground. We have like 13 junior colleges here. And a lot of kids are getting left out because these junior colleges, you know, they used to have to sign all in-state kids, and they gave them like 5 out-of-state kids that they can sign. Now they can sign 15. And so that's like over 100 some kids from the state of Mississippi won't get a scholarship to play football. And, you know, I'm a big camp guy. I run my own camp series. And I watch parents year after year, you know, when the kid is in the 11th grade, well, coach, can you help my son? I'm like, it's too late. And the thing that's going on right now with this stuff, your kid's got to camp. He's got to go places. He's got, I mean, you as a parent, you have to make sure you put him in the right spots to get seen, because it's not like it was 3 years ago. Mm-hmm. And you got this transfer portal. I had a kid last year, and he trumped the transfer portal guy. And I'm going to tell you the reason why. He was an early graduate. The coach who was recruiting him had been recruiting him since the 9th grade. They knew the trainers he was working with. They knew they was going to get about 8 months with him before the season started, you know. And he trumped the portal guy because that coach was in love with him. If you go look at my last podcast, that's why his name, What's Love Got to Do with It, because the simple fact that he got on that coach's radar early and he trumped the portal kid. That's not always going to be the case, but you got to have somebody in that war room fighting for your child against the portal kid, because that's what's going to happen with high school football. If you're not a 4 or 5 star, a high caliber kid, and I'm talking about kids that are going to G5s and FCS.
So we got another special guest coming in. I hate to cut you off real quick. I just want to bring him in here. Now listen, you guys are going to enjoy this too, but welcome, and I know that the audience is going to enjoy this. Welcome into the show, our guy Tawee Walker.
What up?
Welcome into the show, Tawee, man. Congratulations on your game last week, man.
Appreciate you.
Balling out.
Appreciate you.
Man, what's going on, guy?
What's up?
Good to see you, man. I'm glad you decided to come on. Obviously, we do the Oklahoma show, but we've been keeping up with you a lot. And, you know, all the fans are big fans of Tawee, man. How you been?
Man, I've been good. Miss all the fans out there. Miss everybody out in Norman.
Yeah, came on really strong last couple of weeks, man. You've got, 5 touchdowns in the last 2 weeks?
Yeah, I'm coming off an injury, so I'm back. I'm getting back in the groove. Had a little leg injury from week 1, but I'm getting back to myself now.
It's good stuff, man. How you liking it out there? Are you liking Wisconsin?
Yeah, I'm enjoying it. The weather's been all right. It's about to get kind of so though, but
oh man. Yeah, it's see, people right here already saying wish we had Tawee right now. They've been struggling a little bit in the backfield here in Norman, but are you still with us? Man, he froze up on me. Maybe it'll come back. There he is. There you
go. Yeah, I broke up for a little.
Yeah, it's all good. What do you got going on, man? You guys getting ready for this week too? I was glad we got to talk to you this week, because just to talk a little bit about Red River. Obviously, these guys. This is we've got Mike Boganowski Sr. here. His son is a freshman safety out there, and then obviously we got Marcus Dent, who his son Isaiah Autry Dent is an offensive lineman, freshman as well. So they're in here on the show, but. Yeah, man, it's talking about Red River, man. It's a big week, man. You had a big week. You had a big game in the last Red River. What was it like playing in that game for you?
Man, I'm getting that axe up here at Wisconsin every day this week, man. That was the most craziest. So that's probably the craziest game I played in my whole life, man. That's most exciting. It's pulling up, seeing the carnival, seeing the fans, seeing Texas fans flicking us off, seeing OU fans throwing horns down. Best feeling to walk in that Cotton Bowl and win.
Yeah. There's really not anything like it either, man. I've been to a few of them. I'll be back this year too. And this will obviously be the first one for Big Mike Boganowski, but man, it's something else, isn't it? It's just a different animal, isn't it?
Nah, no doubt. I got an argument with my running back coach the other day about that being the best rivalry game. I think, in my opinion, it's the best rivalry game. Nobody can tell me different. So
that's what I'm talking about. Tell them, let them know. We've been hearing it from the SEC corners that it ain't got nothing on the Iron Bowl and
nobody get to play in the Cotton Bowl, get to see half red, half orange. That's the best. That's the best rival game in my opinion.
It's crazy, right? I mean, and it literally does. It splits right down the middle. You can run from cheers to boos, in the same play.
Yeah, man, that's the thing I'm gonna miss most about being a Norman. That game right there. Especially, I don't think I'll play in a game more exciting than that one right there.
Yeah, man. Well, man, I'm really glad that you decided to join us. So what's going on? How do you feel like Wisconsin's doing right now? You guys are starting to look like I thought you guys had SC a couple weeks ago, but good game there, but it feels like you're starting to kind of get the wheels underneath of everybody, and guys like you kind of jumping in there and making plays.
Yeah, we was banged up earlier in the year. Quarterback got hurt, but now our next quarterback stepping in, getting a great groove. I'm getting back healthy, so we're getting the groove of things, and we just coming off a big win, hoping to stack these up and keep it going.
Yeah, how you like Coach Fickle?
But I love him. He kind of similar to Venables, defensive guy, real intense. But I love him, great guy. Been real honest up from me since I've been here, so I can't complain about Coach Fickle at all.
That's good, man. That's good. Yeah, man. I'm excited for you. Real excited for you. Man, you guys got any questions for Tawee?
Man, I enjoyed watching him play last year, man. I thought he had a lot of energy. Obviously, man, was sad to see him go, man. But I wish the young man all the best, man. And we pull it for you.
I appreciate you. I can't wait to watch the game Saturday. Trying to see my boy Barnes get the groove this week. Hopefully, he got a big game and get in the groove this week.
Yeah, Javonte's been looking good, man. Javonte's been looking good.
Yeah, that's my guy, man. I'm looking forward to him doing big, especially this week. It'll be a great game for him to start his little breakout game.
That's that Vegas thing, isn't it? Too. You guys are Vegas brothers, right there, right?
Yeah.
Yep. I already knew. And I lived in Vegas for. Actually, my son's still there too, but I was in Vegas for about 13 years before I moved back out this way. So, love Vegas, and we definitely been following you guys around. Talk about your journey. We were just talking with Marcus here, and he's got 7-on-7. He's from Mississippi, talking about the JUCO route and how that's so big in Mississippi. But you kind of had a different path to get to Oklahoma and now to Wisconsin. But talk about your journey. What is it? I mean, a couple of years ago you weren't even playing.
Yeah. So yeah, I had a crazy journey. I was a great player, great high school player, but was under recruited and kind of just like gave up on it because I was underlooked. Then a year or two go by, my pops talked me into getting back to it and having no regrets. And I listened to him. Went to junior college in San Marcos, California. Did what I had to do. Was getting offers by like Mountain West schools and Big Sky schools. Had a real good season. Then Marco called me with a PWO opportunity. Said I can go earn my way on the field, and that's what I did.
Man, and that's what I know. That's why OU fans love you. You came in as a walk-on and you just owned the room, And I know you and DeMarco are tight, but it's we heard that it got a little testy there after the Red River week, where you felt like you weren't getting enough touches. You felt like there was the road. And listen, I mean, I think I've been kind of one of them, but a lot of the folks have wondered what's going on with the room. That the rotation seems a little odd sometimes. Was that?
Right, but that's football, especially when we got multiple guys in there that's supposed to be able to go. A lot of guys. We had Gavin, was real young but was talented. Marcus Major, real talented, but he kind of banged up a little bit last year.
Yeah,
Javonte banged up a little bit. It was just running back room was kind of everywhere, but Marco's a great guy in my opinion. I love him to death. So
No, and I don't want you to say anything bad about him. I know that was kind of one of the things that you talked about why you kind of left, that you felt like it was just time for you to kind of try somewhere else.
Just because I went to OU to bet on myself, and I just think the best opportunity for me is to leave, go to a school where I can try to be the man where they'll let me play that role as being the guy. Because I came into OU as a walk-on, so I just felt like it's just kind of hard. I mean, I feel like I proved myself, but going in somewhere,
you had to earn your spot somewhere just to kind of be that dude. Yeah, listen, I get that.
No doubt.
Well, man, we appreciate you coming in, man. And anytime, I just really wanted to talk to you, just tell you congratulations, man. Really, just it's been fun watching you. We're keeping up with you here, and we love. Hey, man, once the Sooner, you're always the Sooner. So, we love
appreciate
that.
You. I miss everybody up there in Norman, man.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure, man, you'll be back before too long. We'll get to check everything. And hey, look, man, I'm excited about where you guys are headed. I think Wisconsin is one of those programs you just, and I love it that they're running the ball more and more, right now, because, man, it just seems like that's what a guy like you, that's perfect fit is a heavy run. Let's go.
Definitely. Definitely. As long as them boys take care of business this weekend, I'll probably get back on after the game sometime.
Hey, that'll be great, man. Yeah, let me know anytime you want to, man, and I'll keep shooting links to you, man. Anytime you want to pop in, let us know. We'd be happy to have you.
No doubt. I appreciate you guys.
Thanks a lot, Tawee.
Yeah.
Tawee Walker, man. Welcome in. Glad he had some time to jump in. I've been trying to get him on the show for a few weeks. He just hadn't really worked out. I knew that the audience would love it. Tawee was that guy last year, man. When they needed him, you needed some hard yards. That dude was gonna go get some hard yards, man. Walk on, that's the quintessential walk on guy right there. That's gonna come in and just ball out.
I hated to see him go. I'm gonna be honest with you, man, because from what I saw on the field last year, man, he did his thing,
He did.
So I was kind of sad to see him go. Kind of bigger back, it could move. I mean, I was impressed with him, especially being a walk-on.
Yeah, man. Dude's a dog. The dude would run through the nasty. He all the hard yards was on Tawee last year. He was that guy, man.
Hey, didn't he say he was going in the transfer portal, but still stayed and played in the bowl game?
He did.
I like that. That was good, man. And kudos to Oklahoma for letting him stay and contribute.
Well, and Coach V told him he still had a spot there. Yeah. I mean, it was unequivocal. He was going to give him a spot. So awesome for him. And he's still playing. He had 3 touchdowns last weekend, guys. 3 touchdowns in that game last week.
I've been trying to keep it up with him, man. He's doing well. I mean, I'm glad that OU was a stage for him, to be able to move on, because it seemed like, with him doing what he did at OU is why he's been able to do what he's doing right now in Wisconsin.
Yeah, I think that's true. DeMarco, the one thing, I've struggled with his rotation myself, to find any rhyme or reason with it. But I'll just say, I do understand what Tawee was saying. You got a lot of guys that top end dudes that, like right now, I feel like you've got, if Taylor Tatum is healthy, he's got to be in the football game. You know what I mean? He just got to be in the football game. And I love that kid. I think he's going to be something special. But when you're recruiting at the level that DeMarco recruits at, when you are able to shine the way that Tawee did, and I think that some of those injuries probably helped him get more opportunities. Right now, we're not seeing a lot out of Sam Franklin. Sam Franklin's a dog too, but he's not really getting a lot of opportunities right now. But I do think that Tawee probably did. I mean, he was going to go out there and be the lead guy, and he is. He's got the most carries. I meant to pop that up on the screen, but he's just now getting up over 250 yards, but he's got 6 touchdowns on the season already. And that's with having some injuries. So, good for him. And I know that he's been excited. You guys got to go check out his channel. Go look for it. I'm going to have to go find it again. But he's done some stuff to kind of keep up with everybody and let everybody kind of keep up with him. But man, that's Oklahoma fans love guys like that they give it they give it their all while they're there, and you got to root for the kid moving on down the road too, you know.
And that's what I like about Oklahoma, man. You take me and Marcus Dupree, we talked about that, you know, with his situation.
Oh yeah.
And after the 30 for 30 drop, man, him and Barry Switzer talk 2-3 times a week. You know, they talk, and they're still. I mean, it's all the time. He's in Norman over there. You know, so I mean, the Oklahoma fans, man, they understand adversity happens. They understand mistakes happens, and they understand. Hey, look, life goes on.
Well, Marcus had a lot of people pulling him in a lot of directions, right? I mean,
yeah, you know, man, you got to realize, you know how old he was when that happened?
17, 18 years old, man.
Yeah, he won by 18 years old.
And the way he exploded, and that's the thing. I think anybody that was upset, it was just because of what we knew he was, you know, and what that could have meant for OU football was that he may have been that dude. He may have been the best ever because he shot out of a cannon when he got there. I remember those days, man.
As a freshman, man. Wow. I mean, as a freshman, you talking about somebody would take 410 pounds, man, and he benched that stuff, you know, 8-9 reps and put it up on the rack.
Golly.
You know, that's on tape, you know. that's on tape, man. You know, I mean, he was a once in a lifetime deal, and you know what happened was unfortunate. The guy that kind of gave him a lot of bad advice, I hate to say it, but he's locked up right now.
Yeah.
You know, because he did some more shady stuff on down the road. And we didn't have all the information on concussions and all that stuff. We didn't have that. You know, we didn't really know what was going on with him. He just knew that he wasn't feeling right, you know. And, you know, so like I said, but kudos to the Oklahoma family, man. They reeled him back in. And I mean, it's like he's never left, to be honest with you.
Yeah. And you know, and that's the one thing about the King, man. When you start talking about Barry Switzer, that man loves his players, and even the ones that didn't, you know, something happened here or there or whatever. And I mean, you know, you always got a crazy fan here and there that's going to say something stupid. But to be honest with you, I don't think that I can't think of anybody that I know that's an Oklahoma fan that doesn't. You know, you'll hear something like what Chicken just said, you know, what could have been amazing talent, you know, and that's the thought. But the truth is that, you know, hey, man, kids make mistakes, first of all. And not only that, but when you have adults, and we were talking about the NCAA earlier, they've been leading kids in the wrong direction for a long damn time.
Man, so don't get me started.
You don't have the right people that are talking to these guys and getting them, you know. And Tawee talked about his pops telling him, hey, you know, hey, you don't want to regret that, and you go give it a shot. It takes a lot of stones to wait a couple of years and then go and give it a shot, you know. And still, shout out to him, man. I'm excited for Tawee, man. I'm glad he was able to pop in. I'm glad he popped in with us, man. Great to see him, and it's been fun watching the last couple of weeks. But like I said, it's one of those guys that's just, you're going to root for that guy, right? You're just going to root.
Oh yeah, definitely. You're going to root for him.
Yeah.
And Big Mike, you can kind of step in with this. We was talking about recruiting, and I'm going to tell you right now, even with Isaiah and Mike's recruitment, it's changed even from year to year. Like right now, everything is different because there's more information out there now than it was when just a year ago when we were being recruited. Our kids were being recruited. You know, and I think a kid can't, back in the day, you know, kid, hey mom, I got an offer from here, I got an offer from there. Man, today's recruitment, man, you have to have somebody that's pretty sharp in your corner if you're a 4 or 5 star kid being recruited. I mean, you have to have somebody with your total best interest at heart.
I think
if you don't, it's going to get ate up.
That's the hard thing to come by, right? If you don't have, not everybody has two parents in the home, and not everybody has the right people advising them. It's as kids, and as a kid, hell, I remember go back to when I was 17. I was dumber than shit. I mean, hell, I ain't got that much started, but I mean, we do dumb shit when we're kids. You know what I mean? And you make dumb decisions. You got to have.
I know I did.
Oh man.
Hey, I'm gonna tell y'all my story. All right. I don't really told too many people this, but to make a point of 17, 18-year-old kids making these decisions and being dummies, right? So I was up in Omaha getting recruited. Had big Kansas State, a little bit of Nebraska. They wanted me to walk on, so to get the hometown discount. Wyoming, Joe Tiller, a little Colorado State, a little Iowa State, and but those were my big suitors. So I was a tight end. I led the state of Nebraska in receiving as a tight end my senior year. I wanted to play. I always kind of Nebraska. I wanted to play for Coach Samuel at Nebraska. I used to go to his camps. Wanted to be like Trev Alberts. All those great DNs, Grant Wistrom, and all that stuff that I watched. So when he took the job at New Mexico State, I was like, yeah, I'm rocking with Coach Sams. So the night I committed, coach from New Mexico State left the house. I got a call from Coach Solich. And at this time, they didn't just offer you scholarships, right, over the phone. Like you had to come down on an official visit to get a scholarship, right? So Coach Solich calls me and he's like, "Hey, Mike, I just want to know, we wanted to bring you down on an official visit." It didn't say he's going to offer a scholarship, but that's kind of the implications, right? And I told him, "Hey, I just committed to Coach Sams, New Mexico State." He's like, "All right, great. Great choice. You'll be successful." Hung up the phone with him, went to the bathroom. The phone rings again. My mom calls me. It was a coach from K-State called, wanted to bring me down on a trip, on a visit. Told him I was coming to New Mexico State, whatever. Hung up the phone. Phone rings again. It's Ron Brown from Nebraska. And this is the matter of like 5 to 10 minutes. And wanted to bring me down on a trip. Told him I was going with Coach Sams, right? Probably the next day, I get a phone call from, or it was a handwritten letter at my school from Joe Tiller. He wanted me as a tight end, and he had just took the job at Purdue, and he wanted to get me down there right away. And I didn't do anything like that, but I always think back, like if I had somebody in my corner, like a mentor, because I was a single parent family, and my mom, we did our best, right? But we didn't know what we didn't know. But I always said, if I would have had somebody in my corner that's like, "Hey, dummy," he's like, "You're the best tight end in the state, probably the best tight end in the region. Go to Purdue with Joe Tiller. He likes to throw the rock." And if I would have went to Purdue, my quarterback would have been Drew Brees. You know what I mean?
That's
but
crazy.
Like you make dumb choices. You make choices like that based on kids. You know what I mean?
That's crazy, man.
I go play defense. Had my shoulder operated on twice. Broke my foot. Pretty much had to stop. Because I was having stingers in my neck. So after my senior year, I just shut it down. But yeah, I don't get me wrong. I love New Mexico State. Made lifelong friends. Love Coach Sams. Love all my coaches. Had a great time down there. I love the Southwest. But it's just looking back on it, you make a decision here and there as a young dumb 18-year-old. Who knows, man? I could have been Gronkowski before Gronkowski.
Well, Big Mike, that's crazy because I had mom and dad at the house, but my mom and dad were not football people.
Yeah.
And I had more basketball scholarships at one point in time than I did football. And, your story is kind of similar to mine because I was headed to Ole Miss.
Yeah.
Play for Coach Brewer, Billy Brewer, Coach Fields, Coach Youngblood was my two recruiters, and I had to take the ACT, and we had a track meet that weekend. I was supposed to take the ACT, and I ran the 440 was what it was back then, and coach was like, "Hey, look, don't worry about that. You can take it at Mississippi University for women. You can just take that, and you don't have to go this weekend. They got one next weekend." So the coach didn't try to mess me up. He didn't know. He had no idea. So I go and I take the test the next weekend, and I don't even know if this a thing now, but that was called a residual, and that was the only place that you could take that test was at that school, and it was for that school. It wasn't for any other school. So when they found out I didn't take that test, then I wasn't eligible because, it wasn't, they weren't going to wait because that was the last time you could take it. So I ended up being what they call a Prop 48. I had a 16 or whatever it was on the ACT, but I didn't have it for that school. For me, just information. We just talking about information. If I had known that was going to cost me a scholarship to Ole Miss, then I would have went. Now, like I said, back in the day, those schools, HBCU schools, back in the day, I played with 2 first-round draft picks, Steve McNair and John Theory. We were all on the same team together. Terrence Small played for the Saints, played for the Eagles. He played with us. Cedric Tillman, his son that played at Tennessee, he was with us. He played in the league. He coaches at Bishop Gorman, I think, right now. We had Dwayne White played for he played for the Eagles for a while. We had a bunch of guys that got drafted and played careers in the NFL. So it wasn't a big deal to me. But yet and still, I didn't have mom and dad. My dad was a working still. My dad worked at a plant. He went to work every day, 12, 14 hours a day. He made sure I had clothes on my back, whatever. But when it came to that football stuff, hey son, he didn't have that kind of insight.
Yeah. So
we all, your story is crazy, Mike. Your story is crazy, man. Wow. But yeah, that's what my show is about, is trying to get parents to understand what you have to do with your kids starting in middle school to get them to that level of high school where they're not left behind. They know exactly where they are in the recruiting world.
Yeah. I love that about your show too, man. I've been watching it, and guys, make sure you get over there, check out his show, and I'll actually tag it in our description here. Make sure you get over there, subscribe. Particularly if you get, they talk a lot of ball about everything, but definitely if you got these kids that are needing to get recruited, you need to be paying attention to this stuff because there's a lot to it. We had a friend of mine, we were talking about this. I think I was talking about this with you, Big Mike, but one of my friends from high school that played football with me, and he ended up playing some Division II receiver. He was probably better than that, but we didn't get a lot of guys recruited out of where we were from, even though we won a lot. But his son, they live in San Antonio, and this kid, we're talking about a kid 6'4", 6'3", 6'4", running a 4.5, big. He caught 20. He had 20 catches in a game, in a 6A game in San Antonio. Had 20 touchdowns on the season, and couldn't get a look. Couldn't get a look.
Did he camp or anything?
He wasn't. No, and that's the thing.
I don't think he was camping like that back in the day.
A lot of
people might have had like some college camps.
See, and that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Stuff. He was doing some 7-on-7 that year before, but he kind of got screwed on the. And I love Darian to death, man. It sucks for what happened, but they got him in 7-on-7, and the year before they didn't play him. There was something that went on at that school that it didn't have nothing to do with him, had zero to do with him. His grades were good. There was no red flags, none of that kind of stuff, right? He even played and actually it was the same day as that the high school All-American game that they have there in San Antonio as well. They had their San Antonio All-Star game. Has a big couple of catches in that game as well. The dude, I mean, we really were working hard to try to get, and it started to look like there was getting some traction with Arizona State at one point, but then they had 2 scholarships left. One went to the kid that was supposed to be at, the quarterback. Damn it. Florida kid that got screwed out of his NIL money. Then he goes to Arizona State.
Yeah, I heard about him.
Yeah. So then, and then they had a defensive lineman that they were really trying to get. Well, they ended up getting both of them, so they didn't have any left. They tried to stash him at JUCO there around Dallas area, and he just didn't. It didn't work out for him there. He just didn't love it, and I felt bad that we didn't get him into a D1 school because he did have the skills. And I tried really hard to get him pushed in the direction. And I didn't really know what to do at this point. I was working at it, doing the best I could, and we're pushing him in the right direction. And we just kept telling him, you just play, they're going to find you. They're going to find you. But he should have been a player as a junior. They didn't play him. They played somebody else instead. It was weird. But then he carried the team as a senior, man. 20 touchdowns, had a 20-catch game. And I think they got to the 3rd round of the playoffs and still didn't, playing in the same area as Anthony Evans and Greathouse that's at Notre Dame. You know what I mean? It's just, I don't know, man. He's led the state in most receiving categories in 6'8" and still couldn't get a sniff anywhere. And I think a lot of it had to do with the portal and stuff. It's still fairly new. This is 2 years ago. So the portal was kind of hurting a lot of these kids. That's kind of what you were talking about with East Mississippi, right? And out those Mississippi JUCO kids aren't getting as many opportunities either, right?
Correct. I mean, they used to only take 8 out-of-staters. Now they're taking 15, and they're talking about going up. So you add in that deal, and then you add in the portal. When you talk about 200 kids that got scholarships from the state of Mississippi 2.5 years ago, they're not getting those now.
Yeah. No,
so
it's wild, man.
Parents better pony up, if they want their kid to get out. I'm just being honest with you.
Yeah. Yeah, it's tough. I mean, and it's just, man, and nowadays, and it's just such a wild world that we're living in right now. And I still, though, I believe that, and just like that, his parents, they didn't really know any better. They were doing the best they could, and they both working and doing all they can. And he's, trying to play, and it didn't work. It just didn't work out very well there. And, I think looking back on it, you'd all wish you do a little bit different here and there and stuff. But the truth is, there's just kids that fall through the cracks a lot. And it's a shame that that's a fact, but it is a fact that some of these kids just fall through the cracks. If you don't get that opportunity, it sucks, man. It sucks for them. And some of these JUCOs, I mean, it's not a great situation either. We've all seen Last Chance U. That's just wild. If it's an opportunity, some of that stuff is crazy.
It's right down the street from me, man. Right down the street from me. I mean, so, man, I know, buddy. Dude, it's crazy. I'm just gonna say that, man. It's crazy. And there was a time that
Buddy was.
Yeah, Buddy's something serious, man.
Yeah.
Buddy is something serious. But there was a time that
Coach JB ain't no trophy.
What else?
Coach JB ain't no bullshit either.
His social media is amazing.
Yeah, they definitely I think they cousins somehow, man, because they blood is too similar to each other, man. But you used to go to the JUCOs and get kids to go to Alabama, and you take Montez Sweat, come out of Colin, and man, it just always was some guys coming out of JUCOs. There were big SEC guys every year. But now, man, that's dwindled down. You don't hardly see it because if a kid wasn't qualified, they'll go stick them in a certain JUCO that they had ties.
Yeah,
and that's dead.
It is, and it's because and now you look at and I think it also hurt a lot of the freshmen, the kids that if you were under the radar, it was going to be hard because the truth is, they would rather go and get a kid out of the portal that's already been in a college weight program. you know, and nutrition program, you know, that, hey, it didn't work out, but he's already been in the weight room at a college. So
man, that is man. You don't know how important. That's so important. That's so important. That's why I tell my athletes that has a trainer. A couple guys I know, they train professional guys, and they've trained NFL guys. That's why I tell them, hey man, post. You gotta post. You gotta let them know, you know, who you training with. You know, they want to. These guys need all the information on you because you got to go up against. You're going up against that portal guy, and if that coach is not feeling you, if he's not in love with you, you have no chance.
That's right.
You have no chance. I have a nephew right now who's a great football player. He's 6'2". He's about 215. Man, baller. He just come off the basketball court 2 years ago. Got my sister to say, hey, look, that's not why he's going to end up. He's going to be a football player. And he just not getting back in it in 2 years and got great numbers. And he has all the JUCO offers. And he has some smaller D1s. But it's so hard for him because he missed a little bit of time when he was hooping and wasn't camping in football. And she sees that gap, how that gap closed on her so quick. It closed so quick. And that's where we are right now in college football and recruiting, period.
Mm-hmm. It's just, and it's hard to navigate for if you don't know any better. I mean, sometimes, the parents are busy. They trying to raise their household. They don't know any better. You know what I mean? And you got to try to trust whoever. It is single family homes, things like single parent homes. That makes it even harder. You know, if you're not already connected like that, what do you do? You know? So like, and that's what I said with Darian. He ended up at Navarro, but he didn't make it. He didn't make it through camp. But it's, you know, it was. I don't know exactly what happened, but you know, it was a tough deal for him, and he hadn't. I was talking to his pops not too long ago. I think he may. There's a chance that he may try to go because he was going to a small school there in San Antonio and still getting his grades, doing his job and all that. But I don't know if he's going to ever go back to it. And I think a lot of kids, I mean, when it just doesn't happen that, like, you know, that's what Tawee was talking about, that he gave up on it whenever he didn't get the offers he felt like he should have. And I think it happens with kids, man. You know, it just happens. And it sucks. That's why I love your show, that you can show people how to do that stuff because you've been through it. We're friends with Big Dave Uyunglele too, and he's doing a lot of that same kind of stuff. You know, and obviously he's had 2 kids that were 5 stars and able to get them into the right places, and trying to help them navigate NIL and some of that kind of stuff. And you know, Big Dave's good people, man. Love me some Big Dave. And I think you guys, as parents of these kids, man, that's the best thing you can do is help, is you know, give that information out, man. Give it out because it's important. It really is, man. I'm excited. I love your show, Marcus, by the way. Just enjoy it a lot. But let's talk a little bit. We can finish off next 5 or 10 minutes. What is the key to this football game for Oklahoma? How do you win this game if you're OU? What is it? What has to happen, Big Mike?
I think we got to run the ball effectively, and win the turnover margin. I don't think they're gonna be able to run the ball on us. So we'll have them one-dimensional, in my opinion. And I think, you know, we gotta be ball hawks. We got to get after the ball. We got to strip the ball. We got to tackle the ball. I predicted on whatever, I don't remember what show it was, but a strip sack for a touchdown. That's one of my predictions. One of my takes. But yeah, I think we got to run the ball effectively. And I'm not saying we got to run for 250. You know, we got to run for 300. We got to run the ball. We have to make Texas respect the run. and win the turnover battle. And once we make them respect the run, we can throw the ball, we can open up the offense or whatever. But yeah, I think we're going to make Texas one-dimensional, and we have to make them pay for being one-dimensional.
I agree. What do you think, Marcus?
Kind of piggybacking off what Big Mike said, but I win the turnover battle, number one for me. I think we need to get to the quarterback early. I know a few games in the fourth quarter, it seemed like we just like the gas, like we turn it on. Man, I would like to see that happen in the first quarter. I would like to see them get to the quarterback, call some fumbles, call some different things. Like Mike said, the strip, scoop and score. I love to see that. But I really believe getting to the quarterback early and winning the turnover battle is the key for us. Now, running the football, yes, I think we got to run effectively. I'm talking about Michael Hawkins, but if our running backs have a 150-plus game, it's going to be on. And we haven't had that this year, I don't think. But if our running backs can get chunk yards along with Michael Hawkins and win that turnover battle, I think OU is going to be in great shape with the tight pressure we can. I don't think they've seen the pressure from the edges like we're going to bring, and I think that's going to be key in winning the ball game.
Yeah, I think so too. And we were talking about how do you get that running game going? You may have to start off hitting them deep, because I think that's you've got it. It felt like in that game at Auburn that we were really close to breaking one of those runs, right? But they were loaded in the box, and so they were begging for you to go deep. You got to do it. You got to be able to do it, and that's what you started seeing. Had it not been for a couple of those balls that go to Bauer coming back, on penalties and dumb shit like that, if it's not for that, the game kind of breaks open a little sooner. But at some point, you had to hit that big play. You had to hit that big play and get them out of the box and kind of soften up that. That I feel like you have to soften up that middle a little bit and, make them respect you deep. With these newer receivers, they hadn't seen a lot of that yet from them. I feel like Jaquez is going to be important. The speed guys, I'd love to see Zion Kearney kind of do his thing as well. But I think Bauer Sharp may be one of the bigger keys to opening up that running game. And I loved what you talked about earlier. I'd love to see some of that. The screen game, if we get that going, that'll also kind of help up. You're going to have to respect it and not just be pinning your ears back and coming that way to block the run. If they're selling out there and you don't hit them deep, then you can't get the running game going. How can you? So I'd love to see it. I think that they're on their way. I have to feel like with Michael Hawkins, you don't have to worry about the RPO, and I think they've probably installed over the last week or so. I think that they found the playbook that they need for him. I would hope that's what we need from Seth Luttrell and Joe John is to, hey, let's quit marrying one system to the other. Do what you do very well, Seth. We can go back to looking at what he was like at North Carolina, at Arizona, at Texas Tech, and what they were doing, and. He knows that. At UNT, they were really good, I think that they could still be that. But I do think you have to – I agree with you. I think the winner of this game wins the rushing battle. It's just not – it's not negotiable. You got to win the rushing battle.
Correct.
To win the football game. So, however you got to get there, I don't really care. And last year, Tawee did his thing. They got a few good runs, but Tawee was a big part of that last year. And then of course, Dylan Gabriel with his timely runs, him having 100 yards, whatever it takes, you got to go get that. You got to go get that yardage. But Tawee was huge last year in the Red River, man. Huge.
Yeah. I might try to sneak that game in today. I might try to rewatch that again.
Hey, that's a feel good story right there, buddy. You want to get a good vibes, good juices going before we head down to Dallas? Let's watch it. Yeah. I'm gonna keep it on in the background on a loop for the next couple of days.
That'd be cool. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
You get. Yeah, listen, and I think that's look. Oklahoma is the best team in the country at forcing turnovers. You got to go with that and know that that's going to be a big part of this. Look, I think you're right. You guys said that, talking about if you can win that turnover battle, you got to do that too. And Coach Venables talks about it all the time. They're 11-0 when they win the turnover battle since he's got there.
That's huge. That's huge. That's really huge.
So,
yep.
I mean, you talk about it being coach speak if you want to, but it isn't coach speak. It's real shit. It's the simple things that stack on top of each other, but you got to do the right things. And this is what I love about having Michael Hawkins. They can doubt him all the. This is the perfect stage for him. This is where he's from. He's good with this. Cotton Bowl is not going to be too big for this kid. It's not going to be too big for this kid, and I love it. And I don't think it's too big for Oklahoma anyway. I think that you go there to play in that football game.
Yeah.
The people in Texas know who he is. That's for sure.
That's for damn sure. Yeah. Hey, man, I thought you were coming, chicken. What's up with that? Come on. Don't forget, we lead the SEC in sacks. No, listen, that's what I'm saying. This team is built to go win. And if it's this year, great. Yeah, I mean, look, I feel like they have an opportunity to win every game they play because of this defense. And that's not something that you could have said even last year, really. And so when you can lead with your defense, and I know that they're going to get better offensively going forward. I just know they are. With that line being healthy, and look, man, the more reps you get, the better you get. Or you're going to find out, if you're not getting better, they're going to find somebody who is. So to me, the receiver room, this is an opportunity to make a name for yourself and to get more reps and get more looks. And I think I do think that Jaquez can, you got an opportunity right now to be that guy. He made some really good plays at the end of that Tennessee game. I think he's that dude. I really like. I really like some of these freshmen too, man. And JJ, hey man, JJ made a big play. Sometimes, hey, Jaden Gibson last year at this time we were wondering where the hell is Jaden Gibson. He made a couple of big plays. Now he's got confidence, and he was a dog by the end of the year. Dude had 5 touchdowns on like 13 catches.
Yeah,
man.
I think Petaway and Hester are going to have big games. I think those two receivers are going to have big games, make big plays.
I do too, man. I feel like they have. I feel like that's what's going to be.
Hey, don't forget about Thompson. Now he transferred over here from the Longhorns, so he's going to get a chance to really play this.
Brennan's done a great job too, by the way.
He's done a great job. So he has something to prove. Trust me, he wants to go out there and do his thing too. So don't leave him out, man.
No, and I don't mean to do that. And I think it's hard. You got so many guys that you think about, but I think you're right because you thought of Brennan as just that he's that fast. He's going to stretch the field, which you got to. That's good. If we need to hit him deep, he's the guy because ain't nobody going to run with him. Nobody. No. So, yeah, but you know what I've liked about him is he's caught a lot of them balls around the edges and become a guy that can catch a little short pass and try to turn it into something. I mean, they're doing a lot of different things, and I didn't really think that was what he was. So he's a little tougher than we thought he was, not just a track guy,
Yeah.
Trying to catch footballs. I'm with you there. I'm glad you brought that up because we shouldn't forget that. Brennan Thompson is a difference maker, and that's the kind of guy you start thinking about some of the old Red River games. And I don't know how many of you guys have seen, but me and Legend were talking about it a couple of weeks back. Everybody remembers Damien's long touchdown run, but what you shouldn't forget is that you had a receiver running down there making a huge block. One of the fastest dudes on the field, And look, these games, this is what it takes. It's always one of those guys that doesn't always make a contribution, but they step up in these bank games at the big times. This always seems to be what wins it. Always seems to. So, hey, listen, I'll be okay with wherever it comes from. Just do your job. Just do your job. I love it. Love it, man. Guys, I appreciate you guys coming in. Appreciate you guys coming in. And I don't know if I'm going to be on I don't think I'll be able to do Friday morning, guys, but we'll jump on maybe tomorrow night and do one last little preview before this thing, before we get to, I mean, hey, this is the biggest week. This is important, man. You got to move forward from here. You put yourself in the driver's seat for the playoff if you win this game Saturday. Put yourself in the driver's seat to get into that playoff.
Man, that's crazy to even think about, man, from where we were 2 weeks ago. If we win this game, where we will be. Man, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Right? I mean, well, yeah, I mean, after what's happened in the SEC, it is a wild deal right now. I think everybody is beatable, and I think everybody can win, except for Missouri. I don't see Missouri or Texas doing it. But man, right. Tell us how to find your channel there, Marcus, before you get out of here.
Oh man, they can go to the Gridiron Insight, man, on YouTube. That's where we have. We also got a Facebook page. We just popped up, Gridiron Insight, man. Go to it. You know, drop me some comments, man, some things that y'all want to talk about. Hey, just shoot me something, man, and then we definitely will get on, especially when it's talking about recruiting. That's what we do.
Well, yeah, man. Hey, you're welcome to join us anytime you'd like to. Obviously, Big Mike and I, we will be back on Monday morning for sure. I'll be on again tomorrow night for sure. We'll do something, and anybody that wants to pop in with us, let me know. You guys are welcome to come in as well, too. Man, excited about the weekend, though, man. Excited. First Red River for these guys, and that experience is going to be big. I can't wait. I can't wait to be down there again. It's been a while since I went to the Caleb Williams game. That was the last one I seen. So, the comeback. So, hey, I tell you this much. Say what you guys want. Believe what you think, Texas fans. You're going to get hit in the mouth. You better be ready for a fist fight because that's what's going to happen, you know. Ain't nobody afraid of Texas. Nobody's afraid of Texas at Oklahoma. That's all I know. Anything else you got for us, Big Mike?
No, I appreciate you, man. Appreciate you guys. Thanks for having me on.
All right, man. It's always good to have you on, man. And when I saw you pop in there, I shot that over there. I was hoping you'd pop in. So good to see you, man. And we'll talk to you here coming up. Thanks a lot again, Marcus, for jumping in with us, man.
I appreciate you, man. Appreciate all the help, brother.
Hey, man, no problem. No problem. I enjoy it. It's I love this creator field, this group of creators that we all work together and stuff, man. It's great. I think it's awesome for everybody. So excited about it. But thanks a lot for joining us, guys. We'll see you all. Hey, throw them horns down, and we'll see you all on next one.